Hey everyone, welcome to Carefree Crafting's corner of Flosstube Krafting with a Cuppa. I'm Lissa.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Jeremy. I'm here for comedy relief.
And because we made him,
We're so glad you could join us for our first episode of Crafting with a Cuppa. Today we're going to discuss whips. We've mainly got cross stitch, but in future we'll have other crafts too.
I thought you said whips. We were going to talk about fun stuff.
Whips is an acronym for works in progress. He's new.
That's not as
Just
fun.
ignore
then.
him.
this is not Indiana Jones.
You do not get to hit the chandelier like Zorro either.
I plead the fifth.
The chandelier wishes you would respond. Anyway, we've all got cross stitch to talk about today. Lissa and I have been cross stitching for a long time. I've only recently picked it back up. I probably haven't done it for 20 years.
I started whenever I was 8 and it's been off and on since. Usually cross stitch, I have some sort of project going in between my other projects with crochet, knitting, all of the others.
And I started a week ago by peer pressure. Plus, she found nerdy stuff for me.
So I kind of came back to it by accident. Lissa and I started with diamond painting sometime last fall. And then I thought, well, let's make our own diamond paintings. So I bought some software. Found out I could make my own cross stitch too. And I'll tell you more about that when we get to the works in progress.
I've just been wanting to do more cross stitch because I have a sampler I've been working on since we got married. Me and this wonderful guy here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still not done. And it probably won't be until our 10th anniversary or so.
That's next week. It's not.
No,
it's not.
It's going to be a while. But basically we're just right now on a cross stitch kick, but as far as I know, you're just like me. We just go from craft to craft.
Yeah. I'm binging on cross stitch. I've got one project to talk about that I may or may not finish. My first work in progress is this. This is one that I made on the software. This is my buddy's dog, and it was supposed to be a birthday present. His birthday was in August. So, maybe by Christmas I can include the frame. Here's your birthday present, and I framed it for you too. But that's the photograph we're working off of. It's this cute little dog and her passionate love affair with all things ball.
One thing I wanted to point out that's different from Rachel and my techniques for the most part is she has actually done something really cool. She has started to grid out her Ada. So what she'll do, or would you like to describe it?
Yeah, well, I did this with a friction pen. So I just drew a grid. Every square in this grid is 10 stitches by 10 stitches, and then it makes it easier to follow the pattern. Otherwise, there is a god awful lot of confetti in this, especially around her eyes. I think I used 70 colors in this, and 50 of them were in just one of these squares. But I did a friction pen with this. Friction pens, they can leave a stain. If the ink starts to come back, you hit it with a hairdryer, but they can leave what looks like a grease stain. It won't matter on this because it's a full coverage piece. You're not going to see the fabric. There's another pen that you can use, and I'll get to that on another project I'll be discussing in just a minute.
So my work in progress is a bookmark on 14 count Ada. It is based off of a house from a TV show that was made from a book that has dragons in it. and a blonde chick. Found the pattern for free online on DeviantArt. Has not only this one but several others, but this is going to end up with a wolf on it, and eventually it's going to be about as tall as this. So really big bookmark. My plan is, once I'm done stitching it, to get together with Rachel and we'll use some cloth, we'll bind it and back it so that my husband over here, who liked said TV show, can use it in his books.
And if anyone wants to know how we're going to bind it, you can watch our video, How to Bind a Quilt with Its Backing. We're going to do that in miniature.
And I've been working on this for about a week, so haven't really gotten too much in.
So thanks to peer pressure from my wife and the crazy sister over here, I started on one about a week ago. Yes, my wife gave me notes to read off here to tell you about it. Supposedly it's the Moria chart from Sprite Stitch board on 14 count cloth, because I argue over what it's actually called. And I've been working on it for about a week. Looks like crap to me so far, but they claim it looks pretty good for somebody starting out, so we'll see how it turns out.
There's no qualifier for someone starting out. It looks nice. He's disputing whether it's called Ada or Ida. And to be fair, my whole life I've called it Ida, and then I started watching Flosstube and found out that was wrong.
It's Ada.
Yeah, I found that out.
But a lot of people, as you've said before, ask 10 people and you'll get both
10
answers. So
I do have a finally finished object. Got part of the pattern here so I can call everything by the right name. This is a pattern called I Love You from Smart Cross Stitch. And this one took me about 2 weeks. And it made me think of somebody.
I will eventually be able to start one on a different count Ada, so that everybody can see just how different the sizes are.
Oh yeah, I should mention I did mine on 22. I tend to like the smaller counts, and so then when Lissa does hers, we can show how different it gets.
So why is it always even numbers?
There's an 11 count,
Oh, okay.
and there's 25 count even weave.
I prefer the even numbers just because I prefer the even numbers.
Yeah.
That's why you've only heard of the even numbers.
You should do the odd numbers.
There
That fit
isn't
your oddball personality.
there isn't a 15 count or a 17 count to my knowledge. It pretty much goes 11, 14, 16, 18, 22, 25. There's a 28 and a 32.
No.
And this is why men do not ask questions. Seriously.
I would never try 32. It's like a woven linen cloth. Can't see the stitches.
I'm liking the smaller counts, but
And
I
it's
don't
still
I don't know
continuous.
that I could. I mean, I'm a little closer to 40 than I want to admit, so I don't know that I could see it.
Closer to 40. You left that in the Ruby mirror years ago.
I'm 6 years older than you.
Okay.
She's my
Guys look
age.
distinguished with age, so that doesn't bother me.
Anybody want to buy a brother?
Seriously, I'll sell a husband.
Going once, going twice. We'll pay you to take him.
I love you.
I've got one more whip to talk about, and a project I've kitted. This is the one that is going to probably take the rest of my life. I've got this much of it done. Oh, thank you, Lissa. Got that much of it done, and that much to go. And we're not even halfway unrolled, but my arms won't stretch that far. And it's a heaven and earth design, and it will look like this when we're done. If I can finish in this lifetime. As Jeremy likes to tell me, I'm not getting younger. One last project, and I've got another video about making this kit. I bought a long dog sampler. I was gonna do pandemic, but new normal just really drew me in. So I've got very, very sparkly thread to do it with. Colorful, and I did a little bit of experimentation to figure out how I wanted to do this. Whether I wanted to use 1/1 or 2/2, and I'll get to that later. This is the other pen I was talking about. This is a washable pen. On this sampler, some of the white will show through, and so with the friction pens, they can, as I said, they can leave that mark where it looks like there's a grease stain on it, and that's fine on full coverage because it won't show, but on the sampler it will show. So I want the pen that I can wash out. And then Lissa's got all kinds of stuff going.
I've got a lot of people in my friend sphere where they're having a lot of babies.
All of our friends had children at the same time.
So I've been working knitting on some baby bibs, which I will do a video on. It's just a nice simple baby bib, but it's the reason why I haven't actually been able to do too much of this. Every time I turn around, somebody else is going, hey, can I have one? So it's taken up quite a bit of my time recently. I've also, crochet-wise, am working on a blanket for another friend of ours. It is a mermaid tail blanket. Once I have it finished, I will be doing a video on that as well. I left it at home because it is huge.
Is there a furry thing under the table, or did one of y'all forget to shave your legs?
The cat's under the table.
Okay. Makes more sense. It wasn't great.
Hopefully he'll scratch Jeremy's legs.
And leave us alone.
If he goes for the treats again, Jeremy might bite him. It happened.
Might.
Now, as far as future projects go, Jeremy has been looking into doing some projects with me that we could actually do some videos on. One that we're planning on possibly starting in the future are different models, wooden or other plastic, like the model cars, planes, things like that as well. So that's something we've been looking into. We'll be able to tell you next video if it's something that we actually get started and enjoy doing. And if we do enjoy it, we will start doing videos on those as well. There is one thing I wanted to talk about. If you're handy with sewing, or if you just find random bags that you can find, you can turn them into a craft project bag. And this is pretty much any bag you can find, but this one was made for me by my stepmom. So it has loops on the back, and what this does is it goes on a belt. She actually made this for me, but has a small little thing here, and in here's where we have some conditioner for thread. She had put this in here for different types of keys, but what I use it for is actually a needle holder, and to hook it onto my bag whenever I'm not actually using a belt. But you can open it up and have all of your project items that you need inside. One thing I like doing is getting creative with my project bags, because this is small. This I can pick up, throw it on my purse if I, attach it to my purse if I need to, and go to a friend's house without having to worry about picking up a huge bag. Wanted to just let everybody know that you can make your own bags, and it's possible I may actually try to recreate this at some point, or have Rachel try to recreate something similar at some point, to make more bags for us for things like cross stitch.
I suddenly look like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah, I didn't discuss that with her ahead of time, but if you're really crafty and you find something like this.
Sorry, he poked me with a needle.
But if you're crafty and you want to mix one or find, some people call this a fanny pack because it can go around your waist. You
Don't
can
say
pick
that
up,
overseas.
You can pick up a,
I learned the hard way.
what are they technically called?
Bum bags.
Okay.
Caboose satchels.
Where is it a caboose satchel?
I have no idea, but it sounded good to me.
So if you find one, you can turn that into a craft bag as well.
That was good.
That is forever going to be known as your caboose satchel now.
So Rachel, do you have any future projects you're looking at, or are you just working on the big one?
Well, I'll be working on the big one till I'm 80, if I live that long. The long dog sampler, I've got a quilt I'm working on. I finally finished this one. It just seems like this year's been put on hold. It just seems like someone hit pause back in February.
I think we all know why.
Yeah. Kind of has felt that way.
Yeah.
It seems like every time I turn around, I've got another project or something like that going, but at the same time, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere.
Yeah, I've started so many things. I've got these going, and what I need to do is just see something through and stop starting.
Our houses look like a craft store barked in the living room.
And I'm kind of proud of that.
That's awesome. Anybody?
Always.
Yes, please.
One thing this year's taught me is that
Thank you.
you can't leave your good stuff for a special occasion. The occasion is you.
The occasion is today.
Yeah, I have this spoon. I don't put sugar in my tea. I have this spoon just because it's pretty and I can thunk Jeremy.
I'll stab you.
Maybe not. Okay, so this circus has been our first episode of Flosstube. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And we will make individual videos to update you on our progress and hopefully have another Flosstube soon.
I need a pair of scissors.
I've got a pair.
You have teeth. Have a good day, everybody.